on page 28. We have the alphabet, the Arabic alphabet. So I'm explaining how the homework works for you. And Ahmed also. If you look at the page 28, you have Alif plus Ba. And then you have Ba plus Alif. Right? And you also have Ra plus Ba. And you have Ba plus Ra. And you also have Da plus Ba, right? And you have Ba plus Da. And the same thing, you have Za plus Fa. And you have Fa plus Za. So this is how it works, okay? A plus Ba. You connect it. Ba plus Alif. You what? You connect it. Don't go to Ra. Okay? Don't go to Ra. Don't go to Da. Don't go to what? Za. This Alif, you have to finish all the alphabet with what? With the Alif. Alright? You have to finish all the alphabet with the Alif. After that, then you go to what? Ba. You understand it? After finishing the Alif, because it's going to be a lot. Alright? It's going to be a lot. It's going to be like this. Alif plus Ba. You connected. Ba plus Alif. You connected. The next one, what will come? No. Alif plus Ta. You understand? If you want to start with Alif plus Alif, you can start with Alif plus Alif. And Alif also plus Alif. It doesn't make sense because it's the same thing. You understand? So Alif plus Alif, how are we going to connect it? No connection. Yes, no connection. All right? Why no connection? Can you explain that for me? Why no connection? Because Alif is one of the naughty letters, which is 6 letters or 7 letters that you cannot connect it. So then you go back to what? Alif plus Ta. Alif plus Ta. And what? Ta plus Alif. You understand it? Okay. After Ta, Alif plus Sa. And Sa plus Alif. After Sa, you go to Jim. Alif plus Jim, Jim plus Alif. All the way to Ya. This is how the homework will be. So after you finish with the Alif, all right, that means you completely have Alif with any other letters, all right, in the Arabic in the Arabic alphabet. That means you will always come across Alif whenever Alif is at the beginning or whenever Alif is at the middle or at the end. At the end. If you did this, the homework, Alif to Ya, you are done with Alif in the whole word. Arabic alphabet. In the Quran, outside Quran, you can write alif with anything. All right? You can write alif with anything. For example, I'm going to give you an example in what is on the board, right? As you can see, we said what? This is at-tadribatu. All right? And let's say Bismillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahimi. All right. How many alif do we have here? We have one, we have two, we have three. All right? We have three alifs. We have four. All right. This one is not alif. This one is not lam either. This one is ba. Yes. Because this is how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be bismi. This is how it's supposed to be. So it's not lam. Don't say it's lam again, because lam does not have what? Dot. You know, but you know, when they write it like what? Long, like lam. You understand? But this is how it's supposed to be. It's B. It's not lam. All right? So we have how many alifs here? 1, 2, 3. And all of the three letters are what? Are written what? The same thing. The same way. That means, what do we have here? What do you have here? Alif with what? Alif with lam. You understand? So let's come from here. Alif plus ta. From here all the way to alif. Now we have alif plus lam. How are you going to connect alif plus lam? You connect it like this. You understand? You don't connect it together. So now you have alif plus lam. Here alif plus lam, alif plus lam, alif plus lam. And some of you made a mistake the other way. Lam plus alif. All right? Lam plus alif. How are we going to connect lam plus alif? Huh? We are not going to write the lam like this. You have to open the lam. The leg, you have to make it like L, but other way. You understand? So that is how you're going to write the lam. It's like lam at the beginning. How will you always write lam at the beginning? You don't close it like this. This is not lam at the beginning. All right? This is lam at the beginning. You don't close it. You open it, because the alphabet, all the alphabet, when they are at the beginning, you don't what? You don't close it. All the alphabet. It's not about only the 7 letters, the naughty letters. No. All the alphabet, from alif, count alif out. Because when alif is at the beginning, you don't give alif what? Anything. Because you cannot connect it with what? Count ra out. Dal out. Okay? Wow out. Hamza out. The 7 letters out. The rest of the letters, when they are at the beginning, you have to open them. You don't close them. All right? You don't what? You don't close them. For example, sin. This sin, if we are going to put the sin at the beginning, are we going to write it like this? No. We will open it. You see? Because there is something coming after. Because when sin is at the beginning, you can connect it with any other letters in Arabic. From alif to, yeah. You can connect it. When sin is at the beginning. Who can give me example of sin? Sama'u. So sama, what am I going to do? I'm just going to connect the meme and the alif. And then I'll bring the hamza, what? By itself. So now I have sama'u. Any other example again? Sab'a. Sab'a. Sin and what? And ba and what? Did you say sab'a or sab'a? Sab'a, which is alif. Which is what? Which is alif with hamza. All right. This is sab'a. Right. Now, if I took off the hamza, how are you going to read it? If I took off the hamza, how are you going to read this? Maseri, saba'a. Why am I going to read it saba'a? Because of no. Why am I going to read it saba'a? There is no hamza again. Because this, some of you mix it with hamza. This is alif and this is what? Hamza. Without the vowels. Without the vowels. This is alif and this is what? Hamza. So how am I going to read this? Huh? Yeah, because of the fatha, you read it the same thing. Saba'a. Because of what? The fatha. You will read it saba'a. Because some of you confuse it with this one. We already explained it, right? And the hamza. And this one. Right? With this one. With this one. With this one. There is a lot of what? Difference between this what? These letters. You think that they are the same thing? But when they are, in the middle of, the word or at the end, they change. Especially with the what? With the vowels. They change. With the vowels, they sound what? The same thing. With the vowels, they sound same thing. This one. Yes, this one. That's the problem. Because now you don't even know how to call it, right? Because they change it. So, this alif with hamza, if we want to explain it, we will say alif with hamza. With what? With fatha, which is the vowel. You pronounce it, only you. You pronounce it what? Ah. Don't short it. Don't say ah. You pronounce it ah. You understand? This alif without the hamza, with the fatha, you pronounce it what? Ah. Why are you going to pronounce it ah? Because of the vowel. Because of the vowel, that's why you're going to pronounce it ah. What about this without the vowel? It's the same thing, but the other one, this one with the vowel, and this one without the vowel. So how am I going to pronounce this? Alif. I'm not going to pronounce it ah again. How am I going to pronounce this? No. That's the mistake. You understand? That's the mistake. I'm not going to pronounce this hamza. No. Because if I pronounce this hamza, what am I going to pronounce this? Hamza again? No. So I'm going to pronounce this hamza without the vowel. And I'm going to pronounce this alif without the vowel. So we have two alifs. I'm going to pronounce this alif. I'm going to pronounce this alif. With the hamza or without the hamza. Alright? And then I'm going to pronounce this also hamza. All this without the vowel. But with the vowel, they sound what? Same thing. Ah. That's why they have problem with this Hamza because it changes. You understand? That's why it confuses you whenever they connect it with any other letters, because I already explained this to you. For example, this Saba'a. You see this one, is this Hamza or Alif? That's Alif. You don't call this Hamza. Is this Hamza or Alif? That's Alif. You don't call it Hamza. Alright? That's Alif here, that's Alif here. The same thing, they just connected together. You understand? Alright. Is it Alif or Hamza? This one, is it Alif or Hamza? Hamza. Is it Alif or Hamza? Hamza? Is it Alif or Hamza? Are you sure or are you just trying? You sure? Is it Alif or Hamza? Is it Alif or Hamza? Alif or Hamza? Alif or Hamza? Alif. Those who say Alif are right. Those who say Hamza, that's not right. That's not Hamza. Why is not Hamza? Because of this Alif. It's the same thing. It's Alif Kesra E. But they just connected with the Ba because you said Saba'in. لَقَدْ كَانَ لِسَبَئٍ فِي مَسْكَنِهِمْ. Alright? So this is Saba'in. This is not Hamza. Why is it not Hamza? Because of this Alif. It's not because of the Kasra. So you will watch the Alif. Okay, when is it going to be Hamza? When is it going to be Hamza? When you don't have this Alif. When you don't have this Alif. If they put it on top of this small thing, that means it's no more Alif again. Even if they put it under and they ask you to pronounce it, is it Alif or Hamza? How are you going to pronounce it? Hamza. Because there is no Alif. That's why most of the people confuse Fa'inna. This Fa'inna, this is not Hamza. Most of the people call it Hamza. But it's not Hamza. It's what? It's Alif. This Mi'atun. This Hamza or Alif? This is Hamza. This is not Alif. Because why is it Hamza? Because there is no the Alif, the La. Alright? So whenever you found this Hamza on top of something, the Alif, the line, you know that it's no more Hamza. Alright? But whenever you find the Hamza on top of the Alif, that means it's always going to be what? Alif. Either they put it on the top or at the bottom. Alright? Alright. The next question is, let's go to, you said Saba'a. You people said this is Alif, right? This is Alif. We agree? It's Alif. Alright. What is that? How are we going to read this? Why Saba'in? There is no Hamza. Why are we going to read it Saba'in? Because it's Alif Kasra. It sounds the same. Even if there is no Hamza. Because of this vowel. That's why you have to read the Alif. Alright. This question is for you and you. What's your name again? Huh? Yamin. Wow, mashallah. Do you know the meaning of your name? What's the meaning? Yes. Yamin is right. What about the left? No. No. Shimal. You don't call Shimal left. Shimal is what is on your left. But if you say Yamin is what? It's right. Shimal you can call it left, but it's Yasar. You said yasar. Yamin, yasar. Yeah, you don't say shimal. Yamin and yasar. This is your yasar. All right? It's yasar. It's not shimal again. You can say shimal, but you know, yasar is makes sense more than what? More than shimal. Because Quran always say, anil yamini wa anil shimali azin. You understand? That Quran is not talking about their hands. It's talking about what is on their right and what is on their left. You understand? But your right hand is yamin. And your left hand is what? Yasar. Yasar, yes. Yasar. Alright? So, what about with no vowel? This question is for you and you, Yamin. With no vowel on the alif, how are you going to read it? Hmm? Saba? You don't read the alif? Huh? Saba with mud, yes, exactly. Because now this alif will be mud. It's not going to be no more. You cannot read it no more. But this alif is there to prolong the ba. Now you go back all from the vowel all the way to what? The mud. Huruf al-mud. We have 3 letters of mud. We have alif, and we have wa, and we have ya, with no vowel. Alright, that's huruf al-mud. Anytime you have mud, nothing, no vowel will be on top of what? Alif or wa or ya. If there is no vowel on it and then connected with another letter, it's automatically what? Mud. You understand this? If there is no vowel on alif or wa or ya, it's automatically what? Mud. It's automatically mud. In the Quran or outside Quran, it's automatically what? Mud. If there is no vowel on it. The whole Quran. What's your surah? What's the surah that you're working on? Okay. Let's say وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبْحًا فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدْحًا. So, فَالْمُورِيَاتِ. You see the waw on the ma? The waw after the mim. Mu. Mu. They don't put anything on this waw. If they put vowel on it, how are you going to read it? Muwa. Muwa. Yeah, okay, okay. Wadduha. Let's see. It's here. It's from here. It's here, here. It's here. Yes. If there is vowel on the waw, you have to read it. If there is no vowel on the waw, you don't what? You don't read it. You make it what? Mud. Mu. And this is what? Muwa. And this is what? Mu. Muwi. That's wow. Muwi. And muwu. So anytime if there is now. With the alif, yes. Mm-hmm. You call it alif, yeah, because it's alif with kesra. Yes. Alif supposed to prolong the fatha, yes. Because this alif, that's a good question. Because if you have the alif, you have to look how many letters do you have in this word. All right? How many letters do we have? You. How many letters do you have here? If we are going to separate it, we have what? We have the first letter, which is Sin plus what? Ba plus what? Plus alif. You understand? Now we will look at the alif. This is alif, right? And then if it is kasra, I'm gonna move this to the bottom. You understand it? Okay. I'm gonna move this to the bottom when it's what? Kasra. So we have 3 letters. And then if you join these 3 letters together, you will have this. Saba, E. You understand? So if I ask you this, is it Hamza or Alif? That is what? That is Alif. It's not going to be Hamza. But when the Hamza is alone, Sin plus Ba plus Hamza. Huh? How am I going to connect this together? Here is the what? The challenge. All of you connect it in your book. Let's see. Sin plus Ba plus Hamza. Sin plus Ba plus what? Plus Hamza. Let's see how you're going to connect it. If you understand this, you will understand what? Your question. That's the difference between the Alif Kesra and the Hamza Kesra. All right. You have problem with this. Don't worry. Just close it. Exactly. That's correct. That's why it's very good for you to know the difference. That's why when you are saying the naughty letters, and the book says they are what? They are 6. It should be 7. Because Hamza always have problem. You understand? Okay, you got it, but you have problem with the Ba. You have problem with the Ba again. Exactly. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. Good job. MashaAllah. Where's the Hamza?
I didn't put it there.
No, you have to put it there.
Why I got problem with the bar?
Yeah?
Why I got problem with the
You got problem with the Ba because you got problem with the Ba because you made it like this. Ba, and you put the Hamza here. That means you have problem with what? With the Ba. Or you have problem with the Hamza. You understand it? Okay, the correct way is for you to put the Hamza what? Separate. That's the correct way to write like this. Sin, Ba plus what? Plus Hamza. That's the correct way to put the Hamza. You don't put the Hamza on top of anything. You understand? That's why I explained this to you before. Like Shay'in. Shay'in. Some people write it like this. Okay, which is the wrong way to write it. Okay? If you want to write Shay'in, since the Hamza is at the end, you will write the Shin and the Ya, and then you put the Hamza separate. That's the right way to write Shay'in.
So how do you enunciate that one?
This one?
Yes, how do you enunciate that one?
How do you what?
How do you enunciate?
Saba'a. It's the same thing. Because whenever I told you this Hamza, the Hamza, okay, and the Alif without Hamza, and the Alif with what? With Hamza. There are 3. Whenever they have the vowels on top of them, they sound what? Same thing. That's why I explained it to you before. The alphabet, Arabic alphabet. Is it 28 or 29? I explained this from the first day. The Arabic alphabet. Are they 28 or 29? If you say 28, you have explanation. If you say 29, you have explanation. You understand it? That's why some books, they don't put the Hamza. And then they will put it at the beginning, at the top of the alif. Because whenever you read it with the words, in the words, they sound what? Same thing. So that's why they said they don't need to repeat it in the alphabet. Because the alphabet, you cannot read them without vowel. The alphabet, if you connect them, you cannot read them without vowel. Like for example, this one, without the vowel. How are you going to read it? How will you know that this is sin, this is ba, and this is ain, hamza? It can be sin kasra, right? Si. It can be ba kasra. It can be ali hamza kasra. It can be sin dhamma, ba dhamma, hamza dhamma. It can be, you cannot put sukun at the beginning. I told you this before. In Arabic, you cannot start with what? With sukun. The sukun will always be the second what? The second letter. So you can put sukun on the ba, but you cannot put sukun on the sin. All right? So either this one will be sukun or this one. That's how it's supposed to be. How can you read this one without the vowel? Who can tell me?
If we know the word.
If you know exactly the word. If you know exactly the word. For example, the word Muhammad. Okay? For example, the word Muhammad. How can you read Muhammad without the vowel? You have to know the word Muhammad because it's not going to change. Never. Anywhere if you see the word Muhammad, it's what? It's the same thing. Reading in the Quran or outside the Quran in this book is the word what? Muhammad. It's not going to change. You understand? The word Zahaba, going. Right? Zahaba, he went. How can you read this Zahaba without the vowel? You have to know the word Zahaba. That's the first one. The second one, they can change it from Zahaba to what? No. Yes, you are right. But this word Zahaba, without the vowel, they can change it. Zahaba means he went. You can change this Zahaba. Is there any difference between this and this?
Yes.
What's the difference? Za, ha, ba. Is there any difference?
No.
There's no difference. There's no difference between these two words. So how can you read this Zahaba and how can you read this Zahaba? First thing, you have to know the word Zahaba exactly. If you see it, you know that this is what? Zahaba, right? And then you can read this Zahaba, you can read this Zahaba. Second, how do you know this word is not Zahaba? Without the vowels. No, without the vowels. How will you know this word is not Zahaba?
That time we have to see the whole sentence.
Yes, exactly. That means you have to know the whole what? Sentence. For example, let me give you a quick example. All right? عندي How can you read this? عندي, I read this one for you. What about the second one? عندي ذهب. Does that make sense? عندي, I have. Going. I have went. Does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. Because indi is I have with me. I have with me. That means this is not going to be Zahaba that you know. You have to change the vowels. It's going to be something. What is it going to be? عندي no, you have to change this fatha and dhamma. عندي ذهب. عندي ذهب. Now from ذهب, which is what? He went to what? ذهب. عندي ذهب. I have what? Gold. I have gold. So the same ذهب with the same letters and the same ذهب with the same letters but different what? Different vowels. Different vowels. But it's the same word. Zahaba. It's za and ha and ba. But how do you know without the vowels? How do you know this is zahaba? You have to know what you are saying. You cannot say indi zahaba. That means you can say indi zahbun. You understand? This is how you can read the word without the vowel. You understand? So this one can be zahaba and this one can be zahbun.
Reading without the vowel, that means they are more talent.
Of course.
They know the Arabic.
If you are reading without the vowel in the most of the books, you don't put vowel, that means you have to know what you are reading. You understand? Even this indi, if there is no vowel on top of it. If I see this one, I'm going to look at the word after it or the word before it. If there is word before indi. Yes, I have to read, I have to know what before and after. If there is no before, I have to look what is coming after. You understand? Before I can read this. Or if this one is alone, I have to look how did they put it. This one is going to be what? Indi. Indi, I have with me. Indi, anything. Indi zahabun, I have what? Gold. Indi qalamun, I have pen. Indi kursiyun, I have. Indi tawilatun, I have. You understand? Indi, no, not have. I have. I have with me. It's different. Ana is me. So there is difference between me and I have. Different meaning, different what? Different letters. Ana is always me. And indi, I have with me. You understand? Yes. So this indi, I can change it to something else. If I want. I can change it to india. You understand? But it's going to be what? What will follow with the sentence? What am I going to say?
What's it mean?
This one, indi, is the same thing. Indi, I have with me. But this ya, I don't put anything. It's the same thing if you look at the Quran. Whenever you have india, and then if you have any word, let's say kursi, al-kursi. If I want to combine this indi and india with this al-kursi, I'm going to read it. Indiyal kursiyu. I have the chair with me. If I want to pronounce this indi without india, I have to remove this. Indi. Do I have to pronounce it al-kursiyu? I have to put indi kursiyun. I have chair with me. Which chair? It can be any chair without the alif and lam. Without this. Only this will change the meaning. Yes. If you have the alif wal lam, indi, like the way you say, indil kursiyu. I have the chair. Specific chair. We know the chair that you're talking about. But without the alif and lam, indi kursiyun. I have chair with me. Any chair. It can be any che. Only the alif wal lam. You understand? So apply it, you see Arabic, apply it on any other word. Any word that you want. The alif wal lam. It's going to be the same word. It's going to be the same routine. All right? We have al-kursi, right? And then we have madrasatun. What does it mean? We have madrasatun. Madrasatun. What does it mean? School. If we say madrasatun, is what? School. It can be any school. But if we say al madrasatu, the school, you know the school that you're talking about. So always, if you see alif or lam on any word, that is specific what they are saying. They know what they are saying. On that, that's in Arabic, they call it al-ma'rifa. With the alif or lam, they call it al-ma'rifa. Something that you know. And then without the alif or lam, they call it nakira. Something that you don't know. Raw. It can be anything. You understand? Kursiyun, it can be any chair. Al-kursiyu, the chair. Madrasa, it can be any madrasa. Al-madrasa, the school. Masjid, any masjid. I'm in the masjid. If Muhammad called me, where are you? I'm in the masjid. What masjid? I have to ask him, what masjid, right? Ana fi masjidin. I'm not going to say ana fil masjid. I'm going to say ana fi masjidin without the alif or lam. I'm in the masjid, any masjid. Lakin, if I said ana fil masjid, I'm in the masjid. That means I know the masjid that you're talking about. You understand it?
But if I suppose in here, if I don't put the before lam alif before the masjid, but I use the masjid al-wasatiyya, ana fi masjid al-wasatiyya.
That means you know the masjid. That means if there is two masjid wasatiyya, you have to what? Specific. But if they have only one masjid wasatiyya, that I know that you are on masjid wasatiyya. So now, ana fi masjid al-wasatiyya. Ana fi masjidi al-wasatiyya. I know that there is only one masjid wasatiyya. But if there is two masjid al-wasatiyya, you have to say ana fi masjid al-wasatiyya al-kubra, the big one. Or ana fil masjid al-wasatiyyati as-sughra. Or ana fil masjid al-wasatiyyati al-awwal, the first masjid al-wasatiyya. Or ana fil masjid al-wasatiyyati al-thani, the second masjid al-wasatiyya. So if we have two masjid, you have to specific without the alif wal lam. But if you put the alif wal lam, that means I know which masjid you're talking about. You understand? The same thing like waladun is a what? A boy. Al-waladu, the boy. You know what you're talking about, right? All right. So Masere, the Hamza is clear? Uh-huh. Yes, sin and ba and alif. You are pronouncing them without the vowel. You understand? But I told you before, whenever you combine two letters together in Arabic, they must be a vowel. Whenever you combine two letters in Arabic, which you want to read, it must be a vowel. Because you cannot read them without the vowel. So what are you saying?
Right now, if I hear that basically, like I would say, like it would be, like the alif would be mud. Like I would just put fatha.
All right, now if the alif is gonna be mud, you don't have to put anything on the alif, and you have to separate the hamza. That's good job. That is gonna be sin plus meme. I'm coming. Plus meme plus alif plus hamza. You understand? If you're gonna make the alif mad, you have to put the hamza separate. You cannot put the hamza at the bottom again. Because if you say sama, ul, this one right here, the alif, we don't read it. Or do we have to read it? We don't read it because the alif is there to prolong the mim. You understand? That means you have to read the hamza separate. Let's say sama'i. Let's say sama'i. Because similar to this, saba'in. You understand? If we want to make this saba'in, what are we going to do? If we're going to make this saba'in, to turn this alif, this alif, that we said this alif, to turn it to hamza, what are we going to say? What are we going to do here? I want you to answer it. If we want to turn it, this one, I said this is hamza or this is alif. Which one is it? Is this hamza or alif? It's alif. And then you said it's hamza. All right? So, why do you say it's hamza? Okay, so how are you going to read this one? What is this now? No, with the hamza. I want you to read it for me with the hamza because it cannot be the hamza is at the bottom with this line here without you reading the line.
Okay, so if I'm reading it, like if hamza is on the bottom, I'm just gonna have to read it like E.
Yes. So that means if you read it E, that means this one is not going to be hamza again. It's E, the same pronunciation. But if I ask you this one, tell me this one, is it hamza or alif kesra? Yes. It's going to be alif kesra. Why didn't you say hamza kesra? Why didn't you say hamza kesra? Because hamza is gonna it's on by himself. But this one here, this hamza is not by himself. This hamza is connected to this what? This line here. Because this line here, if you connect it with the bar, it's not gonna be just line. Okay? This is what is confusing you. It's not gonna be just a line. Because if we make it just a line, that means this is gonna be what? Hamza. We will call this hamza. And we will call this just a line. You understand it? No. Yes.
Because the reason why I don't understand is because if he says alif, so for me, on my own mind, it's gonna be what? Mud.
It's gonna be what?
It's gonna be like mud.
What is gonna be mud? The alif?
No, if I just heard it,
Okay.
what he said, alif. So basically, like
That's why I said you have to understand something. If you connect the letters together, you don't read it alif anymore. You don't read it alif. You don't read it what? Hamza. If you connect them together, if you want to read them, you have to read them with the vowels. So if you read them with the vowels, it's going to be the same sound. With the alif and with the hamza. It's going to be what? The same sound.
okay, when in dictation, if I say sin ba alif,
Sin ba alif. I can write sin ba and alif for you. This is sin ba alif. All right.
so in the same thing, dictation, if I say sin ba hamza,
I can write sin ba hamza. Sin ba hamza.
so I know hamza is not going to be prolonged.
Yes, it's not going to be prolonged.
So right now, so the way you guys say is a alif, in dictation, if I say it's a alif, there's a mean for me on my own mind, prolongation for the letter in ba.
For is if it is alif? No.
If this is the alif, for me it's going to be what? Prolong the hamza going to be what? Prolong the ba.
So is it any alif that will prolong the ba? Is any alif prolong the ba?
Because
That's why I said we have huruf al-mad, the letters of prolongation.
okay.
Yes.
So right now on my own mind, because I don't know if it's going to be kasar, it's going to be dom until I see the sign.
You will hear it by the reading. You will hear it by the reading. You have to understand it by the reading. Because if you hear it by the reading, it's gonna be the same thing. Alright? Saba'in. It can be Hamza, it can be what? Alif. It can be Hamza and it can be. But if you said you want to read them one by one, that means it's gonna be there will be a difference. Because you are not going to read them with the vowels. You are not going to read them with the vowels. That means you are going to read them like the way he read them. Sin and Ba and Hamza. So if I ask you to read or to put this Sin and Ba and Hamza together, you have to put it like this. You understand? If I ask you to read it, this one, Sa Ba In. If I ask you to read this, Sa Ba In, and this one, Sa Ba In. By hearing it, it's almost what? Same thing. Saba'in. Alright? By hearing them is what? It's the same thing. By writing them, it's two different things. The first one has the meaning. And the second one doesn't. This is where the problem will come. Because this one, the meaning is Saba'in is the name of what? A place. You understand? What about the first one? I don't know the meaning. I don't know the meaning of this Saba'in with the Hamza. You understand it? But by hearing them, if I'm doing dictation, I'm not going to say Masere, write Sin, write Ba, write Hamza. You understand it? If I'm doing dictation, I'm not going to tell you that write Sin, write Ba, write Hamza. I'm going to tell you write Saba'in. Alright? If I ask you to write Saba'in, if you write it like this, it's wrong. If you write it like this, it's correct because I know what I'm talking about. You understand? Yes, because this alif, you have question?
Some religious areas of people actually like read the Quran with like different
Yeah.
So they're actually doing the wrong, right? So they change the meaning.
Yeah, if you read it without the qira'at al-ashara, you're reading it wrong. If you change the fatha to kasra, that means you're reading it wrong.
Guys are something like they're reading it like the kasra. I don't know. It's a different kind of.
Yeah, if it is not qira'at, you know what the meaning of qira'at is? The other qira'at like Warsh, we have Hafs, we have Kalun. If that is not what they are doing, that means they are reading it wrong. Like for example, let's say Malik Nas, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. That's the right way to pronounce when you are reading what? Hafs. If I said Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. Did I pronounce it wrong? Maliki Yawmiddin instead of Maliki Yawmiddin. And then I pronounce it Maliki Yawmiddin. Is it wrong? It's not wrong. Because I'm reading Warsh. Yes. I'm reading what? Warsh. There is another reading that will pronounce it Maliki Yawmiddin. This is what? Warsh. Either Warsh or any other what? Qira'ah that read it Maliki Yawmiddin. But if I read it Malaki Yawmiddin, Malaki, this is the wrong. This is the wrong. Because it can only change to Maliki to Maliki. Alright? It can only change to Maliki with the mud here. With this mud. Maliki Yawmiddin. Alright? To what? Maliki Yawmiddin. But you can never change this Lam Kesra to what? To Lam Fatha. And then you tell me that it's a qira'ah. No. There is no qira'ah that will make the Lam what? Fatha. Yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong in reading the Quran. There is no qira'ah that will read it like Malaki Yawmiddin. Or you hear some people say Alhamdulillahi. Alhamdulillahi. Yes. That's wrong totally. There is no any qira'ah that will read it Alhamdulillahi. No. The right way to pronounce it is Alhamdulillahi. That's the right way. There is no qira'ah that will tell you Alhamdulillahi. You understand? So when they are reading it like this, it's wrong. It's wrong. That's why when Imam is reading the Quran, which you don't know the qira'ah that he's reading, it's better for you to be what? To be silent. You understand? If you don't know the qira'ah that he's reading with, like Imam Nuh, he's always read what? With warsh. Huh? He's always read with what? With warsh. If you heard him say Wadduhi, or the Imala, Majiriha, or Bushran, they will say Nushran. The ba, they change the ba to Nun. He will change the ba to Nun. Hafs will read it Bushra. And then Warsh will read it Nushran. You understand? This kind of things, if you don't know it, it's better for you to be what? To be silent. That's why some people, if we are reading in the Salah, and then they are at the back saying something else, you understand? You will only collect the Imam if you are 100% what? Sure. That means you know what the Imam is what? Is reading. If Imam Nu is reading Warsh, and you know how to read Warsh 100%, and then you hear him making a mistake, you have to correct him. But if you don't know Warsh, you don't know what Warsh mean, please don't correct him. Just remain silent. And then the scholars, he said, even if you know, just be someone who is listening. Don't be someone who is what? Correcting. You understand? Kun mustami'an wa la takun musahhihan. Be someone who is listening to everything, but don't be someone who, I'm going to go pray behind the Imam because I want to correct him. You understand? That is what some people do. Yeah, that's what some people do. They only want to correct the Imam. Why? So people will say, them too, they what? They know what they're doing. But it's wrong. You see, at times, even if we are praying and then I am behind Imam Nuh, if I don't have to correct it, I'm not going to correct him. Unless if he changed something that will change the meaning. You understand? Or he's struggling to, to remember some ayah, then you can what? You can help him. But just like that, if he missed some fatha, then you have to go to take him back. No, that's not good. You understand it? Yes. Because even today I was reading وَمِنْ حَيْثُ خَرَجْتَ فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. And then I miss فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. I miss this whole thing. And then I go all the way to فَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ شَطْرَ. And then he bring me back to فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. Because I cannot miss this. If I miss this, the whole meaning has what? has changed. So this is where you will correct the imam. And then if you are sure, if you are not sure, just be quiet. You understand? Yes. So I said I want you to understand this because this is very important. These people, always get confused with this. Especially that's why I said Hamza can be connected when the Hamza is the middle of the word. The word. You understand? That is why Hamza is different from the other six. Because Hamza is what? Streaky. You understand? But Hamza, whenever Hamza is at the beginning, you don't connect it with any other letters. You don't connect it with any other letters. And then you cannot put Hamza on top of anything. If it is what? Hamza. That's why Masere still, I'm on you. You read this, Amana, and you read this, what? Amana. The first one is what? Hamza? Alif. And the second one is what? Hamza. But when you come to pronounce them, they sound what? The same thing. But the first one has meaning. And the second one, I don't know the meaning. You understand? That is where you will understand the difference between Alif and Hamza and how they write it. So now, this one, if I want this one to have a meaning, what am I going to do? I'm going to add another word, Alif, to prolong the Hamza. Amana. You understand? Yeah, with the pronunciation. Yes. Because if I want to make this ba mad, how am I going to read it? I'm going to read it saba'in. I'm not going to read it saba'in. If I read it saba'in, that means this one is going to be what? Alif. But if I'm going to read it saba'in, right? I'm going to take this Hamza and put it where? And put it here. By itself. That means this Alif will be Alif to pronounce ba. And this one is going to be Hamza by itself. You understand it? So this one will be Saba'in. And this one will be Saba'in. You understand? And then if I want to say Sa, Ba, how are you going to read this? Saba'atin. So this one, is it Alif or Hamza? It's Hamza. Because there is no the Alif. You understand? And then this, they put this Hamza on top of this one because originally Hamza, you put it on top of Ya. Alright? You can put Hamza on top of Ya. It depends on the sentence. So whenever you put Hamza on top of Ya, if you are going to connect it, is this Hamza that you put it on top of Ya, you are going to put it between two letters. Okay? You cannot write it like this, like Ba, or let's say Mi, Mim, and Hamza on top of the Ya and Ta. So you are not going to write the Ya like this. You will go back to the original Ya. Alright? You are going back to original Ya. So this is how to write the Ya between what? Between two letters. Okay? And then if you want to put the Hamza on top of the Ya, you will take off the what? The two dots. And then if you want to connect the Mim with the Hamza, you understand? And the Ta, if you want to connect it with the what? The Hamza, you change it to Tal Marbuta. Mi'atin. So, and this one also, if you want to go deep, this Mi'atin, if you want to go deep, some scholars, they will tell you this, writing this is what? It's wrong. Some scholars, they will tell you that this Mi'atun, writing Mi'atun like this is wrong. The right way to write Mi'atun They will tell you is this with the alif. You understand?
So which one are right?
Huh?
They both are right.
I will always go with this. You understand? I will always go with this. But some scholars they will say this is wrong. This is how you're supposed to write it. But I don't know their reason, but maybe they have their own reason, but I don't know. How did Quran write mi'atun? Quran. In the Quran, how did Quran write mi'atun? This, like this, or like this? Huh? The bottom one? That's how Quran write mi'atun? Just check it and see. So let's see. للفقراء الذين أحصروا في سبيل الله يستطيعون ضربا في الأرض يحسبهم الجاهل أغنياء من التعفف تعرفهم بسيماهم لا يسألون الناس فإن الله به عليم. نعم. مئة أو 100,000 أو يزيدون أو يا. How did Quran write مئة 100,000 أو يزيدون? I think in Surah As-Saffat. 100,000 أو يزيدون. Where is it? The Quran write it like this. The Quran write it like this. That's why some scholars said they are saying this one is wrong. So this is how the Quran write it. مئة ألف أو يزيدون. It's in Surah As-Saffat. No. The Quran write the alif, the hamza. The Quran write the hamza like this. The Quran write the hamza in this Surah As-Saffat. The Quran wrote the hamza on top of what? On top of ya, right? He wrote the hamza on top of ya because the Quran doesn't read this, but the original reading is ma'ati alfin aw yazidun. But they said mi'ata alfin aw yazidun. This is how Quran write is. This is the way of writing in the Quran. But without the Quran, if I ask you to write mi'atun, you write it like this. All right? Outside Quran, because the dictation of the Quran is different from the dictation of the books that we have.
So on that, yeah, yeah, get a dot on our
This one, if you want to put the hamza on top of the ya, you have to take off the dot. You have to take off the dot, yes. So that the ya will be just something that you will support the hamza with it. Did you get something? Yeah. Huh? Yeah, you will. You have to type the word, and then it's gonna come for you. If you type the word, yeah. So I think inshallah for this with this we will finish our class. So the next homework will be the same thing. If you did the ba the alif, you have to go back and do. You have to do the ba, all the way to yeah. So you have to do it too. Do you understand the homework? Did you understand it? Yes. So you have to get this book, and then you go to page 28, and then you do the homework like the way I explain it. Maybe Kamal will explain it better for you. Inshallah. Okay. If you do that, it's gonna help you to connect the letters together and to read them. Inshallah. Any other question? ألا إنهم من إفكهم ليقولون ولد الله. But say you understood. You understand the Hamza and the Alif because it's very confusing. Yes, yes. But without the pronunciation, you cannot. Yeah, you cannot understand it. With the pronunciation and with the meaning. With the pronunciation and with the meaning. What do you mean? You understand? That will make it Alif or Hamza. Yeah, Alhamdulillah. Yeah.